everyone and welcome back to IPL Trivia Fever with your host Priyadarshan. Here we are today at the first qualifier, the Mumbai Indians taking on the Delhi Capitals. Well, what a crazy IPL we have had. Some teams not performing as well as we would have expected, but some teams breaking that underdog title and rising to the occasion. So it's been a ride of emotions, many cities, many fans, some happy, some sad, but here we are at the first qualifier, and well, whichever team wins today is going to make it straight away to the finals, but whichever team loses today doesn't have to lose hope because they will still have a chance in the second qualifier. Well, we'll get to all these things in a bit, but first let's have a look at the two teams and how they have performed in this year's IPL. So let's see a small clip about how the Mumbai Indians have done. So here it goes. सारी दुनिया में एक ही फेमस है मुंबई हो या और दिखा दूं तुझे मेरा वाला डांस ये मेरा वाला डांस तो नाचू ये मेरा वाला डांस तो नाचू Well, and that was as much as the Mumbai Indians were concerned. Probably one of the most consistent teams in this year's IPL, and well, their biggest advantage being they found their playing 11 right at the beginning of the tournament. A big plus for them, and obviously Rohit Sharma coming back to the squad will always strengthen that batting lineup. But again, the Delhi Capitals, who came off to a flyer of a start, winning their first two games of the IPL, well, they have been on a bit of a downfall towards the end of the tournament, but that doesn't mean they are an easy team to beat. So let's have a look of how the Delhi Capitals have done. ठंड पड़ी जो चिल्ली पहन के स्वेटर ओढ़ के स्वैगर सबको नचा दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा जीने बिच आए मजे सीने विच ऊपर बचे जीने विच आए मचे एको चाचे मामे पहन के पजामे नाचे जब तक जनरेटर बजे दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा. Well, wasn't that really entertaining? So it's great that now we have had a glimpse of how the two teams have done in this year's IPL, but all of that is not going to matter when they come out today on the pitch. It's going to be with a fresh mindset and with only one target in mind, that they have to beat the opposite team. So obviously we'll be getting to the teams, but before we get to that, you know it's time for some questions. So here we go. These are the two questions for the players and the support staff of the Mumbai Indians. So here's question number one. He played in 2007 World T20, where he picked up 7 wickets in 6 games. He bowled the first ever maiden over in World T20 history. So who is this bowler that we are talking about? Now, just to give you a hint, he isn't a player of the Mumbai Indians, rather he's a part of the support staff. I think some of you would have been able to guess this now. The player, or rather the coach, the bowling coach of the Mumbai Indians is the person that we are talking about. That is Shane Bond. So Shane Bond was the answer that we were looking for. Moving on to our second question for today. So here it is. He was a bowling coach at the MRF Pace Foundation in Chennai. His 2 test matches were in the 1982-83 season, where he was flown out to Pakistan to replace the injured Madan Lal. He was appointed as talent scout for the Mumbai Indians. Which player are we talking about? So the person that we are talking about is Tirumalai Anantapillai Sekar, or as we know him as T.A. Sekar. Obviously right now he's the talent scout, and well, he has scouted some good talent in the form of Uncle Roy and a lot of youngsters that have come in the MI squad as well. So it's good to see that. And now it's time to move on to the two questions for the Delhi Capitals. So here they are. In June 2019, he was selected to play for the Montreal Tigers franchisee team in the 2019 Global T20 Canada Tournament. In July 2020, he was named in the Guyana Amazon Warriors squad for the 2020 Caribbean Premier League. In December 2018, he was bought by the Delhi Capitals in the player auction for the 2019 IPL. Which player are we talking about? So well, we can see that this player is showing off his talents not only in the IPL but in every other T20 league in the world. So that's great to see. The player that we are talking about, well, he hasn't had many matches with the Delhi Capitals, but nevertheless, he is a quality player. The answer that we were looking for is Chemo Paul. So Chemo Paul being the answer. And that brings us to our last question for today. So here it is. In January 2018, he scored the fastest century by an Indian in T20 cricket. Playing against Himachal Pradesh, this batsman reached the three-figure mark in just 32 balls. It was also the second fastest century in the T20 cricket around the world, just 2 balls slower than Chris Gayle. So which cricketer are we talking about? Well, when we're talking about raw hitting power and scoring so many runs in so little balls, well, we know that there is one power pack player that hasn't yet shined in this year's IPL, but maybe he might in today's game. So the answer that we are looking for is Rishabh Pant. So Rishabh Pant is the answer, and that brings us to the end of our questions. Well, now it's time to have a look at the teams. Both the teams are looking very strong. Both the teams have won their last game, so obviously they'll be on a high. Sorry, the Mumbai Indians lost their games against the Sunrisers Hyderabad, but well, they weren't playing Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt, so they were trying to give a chance to the other players who had been benched for most time of the tournament, which is really nice of them because you get to see their talent. And you know you can plan accordingly for next year as well. One really good thing I like about the Delhi Capitals is that they have seated Shimron Hetmeyer to get Daniel Sams into the team. But that also gives them an advantage to play Prithvi Shaw and Ajinkya Rahane both. So that has really strengthened the batting lineup because Shimron Hetmeyer, he's known for his hitting capabilities, but he hasn't been able to get going in this year's IPL. So I think, and last match we saw Ajinkya Rahane play a good knock. So it's good to see Prithvi Shaw opening the batting with Shikhar Dhawan, and then having an Ajinkya Rahane come somewhere down the order, which really looks like a positive, solid side now, especially with Daniel Sams there in the pace attack along with Andrich Nokia and Rabada. So it's a very, very, very strong team right now. Hopefully players who everyone is expecting a lot out of, such as even Prithvi Shaw for that matter, or a Rishabh Pant, well, will they be able to come to the party today is what we need to see. But that is going to be an interesting sight to watch. Obviously, the match is happening in the Dubai International Stadium, so I don't think the toss makes that much of a difference, but I feel whichever team is going to win the toss will like to chase instead of setting a total up first. And when we talk about the Mumbai Indians, whether it's chasing or whether it's setting the target, their middle order is what is the talk of this year's IPL. Well, it's not only Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma who need to perform, because there is a Ishan Kishan, there is a Hardik Pandya, there's a Krunal Pandya, there's a Kiran Pollard, there's a Surya Kumar Yadav. So there is a lot of batting that comes in even till number 7 and number 8. So which is a really, really positive sign for the Mumbai Indians. And well, their pace attack obviously being Jasprit Bumrah, Trent Bolt. They have options such as Nathan Coulter-Nile, they have Robert Pattinson, they have Mitchell McClenaghan, and obviously Rahul Chahar doing a beautiful job as the sole only spinner in the team. Well, obviously there is a Krunal Pandya, but he's an all-rounder. So both the teams look like they have found their playing 11. I don't expect to see any changes in the side apart from what the teams I have spoken about. And actually in today's match, for some reason, I am favoring the Delhi Capitals to win and make it straight to the final. Rather, my prediction is we're going to have a Royal Challengers Bangalore and Delhi final, which is going to be something that has never happened in any previous edition of the IPL. because neither of these two teams have made it to the finals, and neither of these two teams have played against each other in the final. So it's going to be really interesting to see, and I will be back tomorrow again with some interesting videos. So do stay tuned. If you have any suggestions, please leave it in the comments below, and please do share, like and subscribe to the channel. Spread the love, spread the word, and thank you for watching my video. I will be back tomorrow. Till then, stay safe, take care, all the best to all the fans. Let's have a great game of cricket, and I think it's time for some IPL action.